Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel. My name is Esther Nyonja and it's glad to see you all during this election period, and I want to pray that when the elections come August 9, 2022, that we're going to have fair and free elections and that we're going to have also peaceful elections. And I want to urge everyone who is watching this, the message is always peace. We maintain the peace, that we might have different ideologies, we might come from different backgrounds and support different people, but let's maintain the peace so that we cannot be interrupted like we did in 2007 elections. So welcome to this YouTube channel again, and today I am going to talk about the manifesto that is brought forward by these people who want to be put into power. And as much as we don't like to hear it, but we can say it as it is, that we have a two-horse race. Yeah, that is something many people would not like to hear, but that's the reality that we have on the ground. We have a two-horse race, and the two-horse race is between the Kwanza Alliance and the Azimio coalition. Now, I wanted to focus on what the manifesto of these two parties before we decide who we're going to vote in, because it's only fair that we vote ideologically rather than voting ethnically, or just because you like a person, or just because they come from an area that's close to your area. But it's my wish that even in the future that we get to voting ideologically rather than voting ethnically or for other reasons. And so straight into it, I will start by telling you what a manifesto is. A manifesto is a public declaration made especially during an election period by a political party or a candidate. Now this public declaration of policy explains what this particular individual or this party or group is going to do for you once they're voted in. And now with the Azimio coalition, with the leader, Right Honorable Raila Odinga, he has a 10-point agenda that I know there are people who support him. And there are also people who support Kenya Alliance led by Kenya Kwanza Alliance led by the Deputy President William Ruto. And ask them, why are you voting in Honorable Ruto? Why are you voting in the Prime Minister? They will say, oh, because I'm Luo. They will say, oh, because I like Ruto, or it's because this and this and this. But ask any general Kenyan youth, or just any other person, someone who is looking forward to voting, do you know what his manifesto is? Do you know what his manifesto is before you vote them in? How is this going to favor you? And because we are looking at the end of it all, we're looking at someone who's going to bring developments to our country. We are looking at someone who has the best wishes of the country at heart. And we are looking at someone who is going to transform our nation, because look at the economy right now. We have the fuel crisis right now. I am not an expert in that area, in economics, but now I just don't know who to blame when it comes to the fuel crisis, because what is happening? In my last video, I talked about the price of maize flour. It was not even high at that time, but now look at the price of maize flour right now. Look at the price of all basic commodities right now. So when it comes to an election, my prayer is that we get to a place where we are voting in someone who has Kenya's best interest at heart, someone who is going to transform our economy, like the same way until this day. Former President Mwai Kibaki has been applauded for trying to transform the Kenyan economy until this day. At his time, the bank rates were low. At his time, we had money in our pockets. Life, I can say, was manageable at that time. But now the prices everywhere are skyrocketing. We still have drought problems, and to this day, 2022 in Kenya, we want to call ourselves a developed country, but we still have people dying of drought and relying on relief food. Well, that is not something we would want to hear about, because we want to get to a point where we have a sustainable economy that can support its own people, that can support its own people's education, the feeding programs, homes for the homeless, and good roads, yes, because we're not constructing the Thika super highway, we're constructing the dams, we're constructing the infrastructure, schools, but people are dying of food. It is such a shame. So an election is a critical period where we have to think about these things and really think about who you're going to put into power to transform our country, because at the end of the day, fahali wawili wakipigana ni nyasi huumia, and nyasi in this place is you and me, the common citizens. Maybe we do not have a base where we can go and shout out our voices and say this is what we want done. We use our elected leaders democratically, because recently when the budget was being read, I saw a man who was being carried to a police car because he was protesting over the high economic standards of living. Now you see a case like that. So whoever we are bringing in, let us really look at what they're going to do, and if they really have our best interest at heart, and not because he's someone who we know or someone who is going to benefit us individually or whatever reasons that may be there. So I was looking at the Right Honorable Raila Odinga's policies, and here's a 10 agenda, 10-point agenda. One, he has the Inua Jamii Pesa Mfukoni. It's a social protection program that will deliver 6,000 shillings per month to 2 million of the country's most needy families. This is to lead to millions of jobs and development of the middle class. That is Inua Jamii Pesa Mfukoni. So he proposes to do that. 2, he has the Baba Care. Baba Care is to scale up the universal health care pilot programs to the rest of the country, because at the moment we still have the UHC, the Universal Health Care Program. So Baba Care is going to pilot the UHC programs in the country. And 3, Kazi kwa Wote. He's securing welfare of the people by generating avenues for productivity through job creation programs, investing in the Juakali sector, which is a very critical sector, and other macro and microeconomic stimulation schemes. And then 4, he has Uchumi kwa Akina Mama. The program is to unlock access to financing for women-led businesses on other enabling factors such as access to assets of production, land tenure, and proportional representation at all government levels. So far he has Inua Jamii, Baba Care, Kazi kwa Wote, Uchumi kwa Kina Mama. 5, he has #Inawezekana. #Inawezekana focuses on investment in the youth in the development process. The program will equip the youth with mindset, skills, funds, and technology to enable them innovate at par and surpass their global counterparts. So this is where he says he's going to focus on the youth through the #Inawezekana. And then 6 is Waste Not a Single Child. It will be an aggressive scheme to ensure that all, not some, children get rightful access to quality education. For Northern Kenya, a special affirmative action program will be pursued to admit students from the ASAL into teacher training institutions and universities to create a local committed workforce to serve teachers and education officers in the region. And then he has 7, Fukuza Njaa, which aims at not feeding but generating agricultural bounty that Kenya has the potential to produce. It aims at factoring in climate change and help realize high agricultural productivity across the nation. And then 8, he has Maji kwa Kila Boma. The program will radically reverse the artificial shortages and high cost of water, particularly for the poor. 9, One County, One Product. It is designed to be a launch pad to a Kenya which consumes its products, exports excesses, and registers surpluses. And then he has 7, Fukuza Njaa. which aims at not feeding but generating agricultural bounty that Kenya has the potential to produce. It aims at factoring in climate change and help realize high agricultural productivity across the nation. And then 8, he has Maji kwa Kila Boma. The program will radically reverse the artificial shortages and high cost of water, particularly for the poor. 9, one county, one product. It is designed to be a launch pad to a Kenya which consumes its products, exports excesses, and registers surpluses, not deficits. The national government will support materially and technically towards an ultimate vision where the 47 vibrant counties begin industrializing at unstoppable rates. And then 10, he has the principle of administrative continuity, where it means building and improving on the gains that have been made by administrators that came before. That is not scrapping off the previous work, but building on what they had already put in place. For example, President Kenyatta's Leader Mama program could not have worked without the construction of health facilities and upgrading of transport networks during the Grand Coalition government. So the plans for the rapid bus and transit system could not have been operationalized without the construction of Thika and Mbagathi roads. That's another example. And then the plan for Lamu Port dates back to 1972, where Kibaki was finance minister, and took about 50 years for it to be launched by Kibaki as president in 2012. And as he was leaving office, so President Uhuru took it up in 2013 and ran with it and implemented it in 8 years. So he thinks that ignoring what the previous predecessors have done will squander the opportunities to have a world-class transship hub that will reap exponential economic benefits to the country. That's the 10-point agenda of Azimio la Umoja, or Baba's team. People from Baba's team, I hope you have your 10-point agendas. You know what he's going to do. So as you want to vote him in, you're aware. And then there is the Kenya Kwanza Alliance. It has been popularized by the bottom-up economic model of approach, and I had explained the bottom-up method of approach of development in my previous video. I'm just going to go through his manifesto also. So it's hinged on 5 pillars, being employment, job creation, micro and small medium enterprises, where you've had his focus is on the mama mboga, salonists, barbers, border people, and hawkers. And then there's the financial ecosystem and agriculture. There's also the social welfare, where he's focusing on, and the private sector development. So he aims at investing in proper market infrastructure that protects the sectors through appropriate legislation. And I say the target is mama mboga, hawkers, border, salonists, and small-scale traders, so that they have regulations that favor them in their businesses when it comes to do with things like licenses and permits and all that. The Deputy President is also proposing to promote a financial system that is fair to everyone and that provides predatory lending. The plan is to end over-reliance on Shylocks and emerging digital lending platforms. And then it's also focusing on financial cooperatives, which will be one of the key pillars of the financial intermediation. On agriculture, the Deputy President seeks to create a supportive infrastructure for farmers to market their produce, inputs, and extension services, and also target elimination of cartels through promotion of farmer groups or cooperatives. This would aid in terms of quality control and marketing. This is expected to enhance farm productivity and agro-processing of value addition and manufacturing that translates into increased farmer incomes and wealth creation. The end game is not only to lower the cost of living through consumers' access to low-quality foods, but also to put money in their pockets. UDA plans to roll out UHC universal healthcare through targeted investment in the country's health infrastructure. The bid is to put up structures both nationally and at county level backed by a proportionate health insurance program, and then promote a savings culture not only through the NSSF but also through other forms of local savings. So that is what I got from the the UDA's manifesto. The end game is not only to lower the cost of living through consumers' access to low quality foods, but also to put money in their pockets. UDA plans to roll out UHC universal healthcare through targeted investment in the country's health infrastructure. The bid is to put up structures both nationally and at county level backed by proportionate health insurance program, and then promote a savings culture not only through the NSSF but also through other forms of local savings. So that is what I got from the UDA's manifesto, Kenya Kwanza Alliance, because I read something about them wanting to go to people and wanting people to bring out their thoughts on what manifesto they want, and then it would be put together by the various leaders, and then they create one big manifesto. But at this point, this is what we have. And of course, we've heard about the bottom up. There's content about that in my previous channel about the bottom up economy. So that is what we have for the manifesto. As I said at the beginning, that this is a two-horse race. Let us not lie to ourselves, but that's my opinion. Let us not lie to ourselves. It's a two-horse race because it's between Kenya Kwanza Alliance and Azimio la Umoja. So that is what I thought I should focus on manifesto and just try to help you be knowledgeable about the manifesto in case you didn't know. And until next time, stay safe, stay peaceful, preach peace, register for, if you haven't registered as a voter, please visit an IEBC office or Huduma Center to be registered as a voter, and think about your decision to vote for your future leader. And I'm sorry about insisting about the two-horse race here, but if you have another preferred candidate and you that I'm outlooking right now, please go through the manifesto and know what they want to do and compare it with all others, and then make your informed decision. So until next time, bye bye, and don't forget